In the early going this morning, we are seeing a repeat of a trend that started last week that I noticed, which is possibly tradable. I wouldn't do it. Even when I was doing day trading, I wouldn't do it, but it's a very interesting trend. Tesla tends to have this sell-off in the early going. Now, the market is down this morning. There's no doubt about it, and that might have something to do with Moody cutting the U.S. credit rating, but it did leave it at a AAA. And that's possibly having a small impact on the market. It is generally off this morning, down around 0.5%. But Tesla started out in the green and then immediately dropped as much as or more than the general market and as much or more than the Magnificent Seven. So is there something going on where somebody is using some kind of an approach of waiting for the first tick in the morning to see if it's up and then grabbing some profits? I don't know, but it's been happening day after day, and this is not a trend that I've seen in the 9 years that I've been watching Tesla. All right, this is Randy Kirk. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit notify. Later on today, you're going to get Brian White around the noon hour, and then you're going to get Larry Goldberg in the afternoon. So how much better could it be than that? So hit subscribe and notify so you'll be reminded of those upcoming shows. And then, of course, you want to get your Cybertruck. I'm getting some very large inquiries right now, very substantial inquiries. In the 10, 15, 20 range. Those sound like folks that have recognized the value of these Cybertruck bottle openers as Christmas gifts. Pay attention. I'm sure that you could use a bunch of Christmas gifts, and this would be a great place to go. All right. And then join Patreon, etc. Let's go on now. So from FT.com this morning, India is considering a request from Tesla to lower tariffs for imported electric vehicles, according to the Indian government statement. Elon Musk company exploring setting up a plant in the country. Tesla has asked New Delhi for an initial tariff concession that would allow it to offset India's steep customs duty, about 70% for cars that are worth less than $40,000 and 100% for cars worth $40,000 or more, according to officials with knowledge of the matter. Do you think this has anything to do with why folks in India don't have many cars? Anyway, their view has always been that they need some tariff concessions. This is Tesla's view. They need some tariff concessions, at least during the beginning as they're setting up the plant. And now this has been going on for months and months. This conversation has been going on, but apparently India is maybe on the verge of making some of those concessions. Meanwhile, Elon might just be joking around. You just never know with Elon, but he says in response to a question, when is version 12 of FSD coming? He says in about 2 weeks. So maybe that's about 2 weeks could include the day of the CT handover. Maybe that'll be one more thing at the CT handover. Or I was thinking, what if there was a general release on Monday of that week, and then those who are driving to Austin would be able to drive down there on version 12 and be able to tell all their friends about their experience? Sounds like a great idea, Elon. Can you make that happen? I know you watch. So Whole Mars catalog is out this morning. Very, very interesting. Whole Mars has been coming up with some cool stuff. So if you're not following him, you might want to do that. It's at Whole Mars blog. And fastest growing U.S. EV markets. Some surprises here. Number one is Tucson, Arizona. Now, the West Coast, California in particular, tends to be way ahead. California's way, way ahead of everybody else. But Washington, Oregon, Nevada, Wyoming, et cetera, the other Arizona, Utah, who did I forget? Anyway, tend to be, coming up, moving fast. And you'll notice that Tucson, Arizona, number one. Colorado Springs, Colorado. Orlando, Florida is number 3. And again, the other coast also tends to be ahead. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, that's further inland. That's Midwest. Las Vegas, Nevada. Reno, Nevada, those are not surprising. Norfolk, Virginia, that's the other coast. Cleveland, Ohio, now you're coming in some. San Antonio, Texas, and Greensboro, North Carolina, not unsurprising. So anyway, interesting, I think, that those are the fastest growing markets. Reuters is saying this morning, Hyundai Motor on Monday broke ground on a 2 trillion, that's won, 1.52 billion dedicated electric vehicle plant in South Korea as the automaker accelerates a shift to electrification. Hyundai Motor, the world's #3 automaker by sales. Keep that in mind. I keep saying that they will still be #3, but it will be a shift in who's #1 and #2 by a lot in 5-7 years. Anyway, they plan to start production in the first quarter of 2026 after completing construction in 2025. And that factory will have the capacity of about 200,000 units. And the first unit that will come out of it will be an electric sport utility vehicle from its luxury brand Genesis. Tesla Roddy says that Rivian has gotten all the approvals that they need on that $5 billion Rivian plant approved in Georgia, is now approved in Georgia. They're targeting 2026 for initial production. Company eventually expects to reach annual volume of around 400,000 vehicles. Here's an interesting one from Reuters. British petrol station operator EG Group said on Monday it would buy Tesla ultra-fast charging units. Yes, to boost its electrical vehicle charging network across Europe as the EV maker continues to expand its reach, as Tesla continues to extend its reach in the charging business. EG, owned by the billionaire Issa brothers, who also own UK supermarket chain Asda, will expand its charging network to more than 20,000 EV chargers at its sites over time from the current 600. The first Tesla chargers will be installed by the end of the year, EG said, though it didn't provide details on the cost or time frame for the total purchase. The open network Tesla chargers will be accessible to all EV drivers, regardless of the vehicle brand. Excuse me. The rapid installation of reliable, easy-to-use EV charging infrastructure is the right step towards a sustainable future, said Rebecca Tanucci, Tesla Senior Director of Charging Infrastructure. She's getting a lot of print lately as another successful effort, apparently, on her part. The CEO of FICO, Will Lansing, is out this morning on CNBC saying that the consumer is stable and caring more about their credit scores. Pay attention to this. This is me now talking, as the population ages, you are bound to see more conservative behavior. Folks over 50 are less likely to take on risky or high interest rate debt. One more place where the Fed and other economists don't seem to be paying any attention to the demographic shift. And here's another. In 1980, the average age of a repeat home buyer was 35. Okay, go back to 1980, when the average age in the population was under 30, and the average buyer of a rebuyer was 35. So you buy your first home at 29, according to these stats, and by 35, you're ready to get the second home. Normal stuff. Now the first-time buyer is 35. Not surprising, since individuals are the population is older, people are getting married older, they're having their first child older, so it's not surprising they're buying the house at 35, about 6 or 7 years older, which is in trend. But the repeat buyer is now 58. And these numbers didn't jump up. These numbers have been slowly rising as the age of the population has risen. So home buyers are later into the market, just as they're later married, have children, etc. And it's the wealthy boomers who are buying up existing housing stock. And please don't talk to me about how much harder it is for young people to get their first home. It's just nonsense. You can buy a home for 3% down. Check with my friend, Bill Rayman. His information is down below. If you need a mortgage, or if your children or grandchildren need a mortgage, you can get into a home for 3%. And there are plenty of homes out there, even in California, in my neighborhood, for under $200,000. It'll be a condo, but that's where you start. That's where I started. So what the heck? And that was before the dawn of time. All right. So that's all I got in that regard. So let's look at where the numbers are right now. And what we've got is Tesla down 1.21% right now. Change that immediately. Tesla is now up 0.11%, counter to the market. So that's different. So, and I mean, everything else is in the red. So the Dow is down 0.1, the NASDAQ is down 0.63, S&P is down 0.38, and all of the Magnificent Seven are down. Tesla is now up just 0.01%. So, I mean, it's been flirting actually all morning with being up or down, in the green, in the red, in the green, in the red. So, but the rest of, and basically all of the Cathie Woods, except for in Seago, are in the red, and some of them substantially. And that is partially due to the fact that the bonds are up 5 basis points. Nope, now they're up 7 basis points. So there you go. There's what's happening, is at least the bonds may be reacting to this Moody's report. The bonds reacting to the Moody's report, I think, is having more of an impact on stocks than the Moody's report itself. That's just me. I could be completely wrong on that. But bonds being up this strongly is going to affect the NASDAQ more. It's going to affect the Magnificent Seven more, and it's going to affect the Cathie Wood stocks more. By the way, for those of you who are new to the channel, Cathie Wood stocks are the riskier growth stocks that Cathie Wood likes, the disruptors that tend to be newer in business, doing newer technology, and therefore more riskier to invest in, and therefore you have a higher likelihood when interest rates go up, they're going to be impacted more. We've gone into that many times before. All right, so we've got the 2-month is actually down a little bit. The 2-year is not up as much as the 10-year. So that would say the inversion is shrinking this morning, but that inversion has been doing this for quite a while now. But it's interesting to follow, and I think valuable to follow. Let's look at the other kinds of things that are going on right now. So let's look at stocks again. You've got the Dow Jones up 35 or 0.1%. You've got the S&P up $19 or up 0.43. And the NASDAQ, again, down more. Did I say up on S&P? Down on S&P. And then the NASDAQ down 0.7, more than the other two because of this interest rate spike. And it is $95 down. Okay, we go into Bitcoin is down 360 at 36.7 for those of you who follow it. We've got the dollar staying strong, and of course, the bonds going up would make it even stronger. We've got gold flat at 1937, though. So that, to me, is down compared to Friday. We've got oil up 60 cents, but at $77.76 on Texas Intermediate. That is up from Friday also. Probably about a couple of bucks. And then we talked about pounds already. Let's go back really quick, just two more times, but run right now. Everything about where I said it was a minute ago with Tesla still up 0.05%. All right, let me grab this guy because I know you haven't seen it enough. And besides, there's new folks that have never seen it before. If you haven't seen this before, can't you see this being on your refrigerator? It's got this giant magnet. And for those of you who have seen it before, this could be on your refrigerator at your cabin. This should be in your cooler so that wherever you go, you can pop it out and your friends will go, that is so cool. Or you get in a camo, maybe they'll think the camo version is even cooler. It, of course, is a bottle opener. That's why you want to put it in your cooler. And it is super thick. Somebody said the other day they thought it might be flimsy. No. This is anything but flimsy. It weighs a half a pound. It's 8 ounces, okay, of solid stainless steel. So it's not going to rust. Anyway, 25 bucks, 2 for 45, 3 for 65, 10. I might be wrong on this. Check the information below. I'm going to say it's 10 for $220 or $22 a piece. Now that might be wrong because somebody pointed out I was wrong on the 20. On the 20, it is $400 even, or just 20 bucks a piece. Now you can buy it on Amazon too for $29.95, and that is my product on Amazon. I sell a lot of items on Amazon. So you can go buy it there if you prefer. and spend more, and I make less, but hey, you know. And then some people have been asking, is there some way I can do it other than PayPal? Yes, you can write me a check. Send me a note below or contact me on email, randykirk77@gmail. And yeah, okay. And then you want to join Patreon. Patreon, if you join Patreon at the $10 level, you get one of these babies for free, or you can get up to 2 of my 4 books that are on audio. There's 2 of the 4 right there, the Elon Musk Method and the Elon Musk Mission, both big sellers. These are not, I don't know if you know anything about these 2 books. I mean, the Elon Musk Mission at this point is probably the 3rd best. Now that we've got that new huge biography that came out, it's probably the 3rd bestseller of all of the Elon Musk books. Elon Musk Mission is probably, actually the Mission Method is probably the 3rd bestseller, and the Mission is probably the 4th bestseller. Significant numbers. We're talking about well over 10,000 translated into 5 languages on the Method. So if you are at all interested in the way that Elon Musk does what he does and why it makes him so successful, that would be the Method. If you're interested in the companies and how they operate and what's making them so successful because you're buying the stocks, or you're just interested in general, that would be the Elon Musk Mission. All right. I think I've talked your ear off long enough this morning. One last look at Tesla before we go. Up 0.2 at this point, or 55 cents, with the rest of the market in the red. Hey, check us out later with Brian White around noon and Larry Goldberg at around 5 o'clock. And it has been great talking to you.